All right, everybody. Another morning. God damn. All right. So again, welcome to Mornings with Movers. We got the full squad in the building, and we're gonna have a blast today. Um, Again, y'all already know Dwyght with Mack's Moving Training. We got Clifford Starks, the motivational coach, and we got Bill, who actually he almost did his own title, all about moving Tampa Bay. And then we got Yuriy from Moving Sales Professionals. What is going on, y'all?
Good.
Feeling great.
Man. So let me change Phil's name real quick for people start thinking he Melissa.
Hey.
So what's new, guys? What's going on?
I'm enjoying the journey. Making new connections, networking with new people, and just having a blast right now.
Nice. What about you, Phil? How's business been treating you? Be honest.
Yeah, this month has been I think everybody in the industry is starting to feel a little bit of a up and down roller coaster. It's 1 week you're blow down the doors busy, the next week, it's kind of iffy. We've actually had to drop our rates down a little bit just to move the trucks that we have. But we're focusing a little bit more in the storage area now, being that we have this large warehouse. So we're trying to get some other avenues, getting our SAM set up, getting some military things going on, but whatever it needs to do to turn the trucks and turn the guys,
Yeah, definitely. And this is the type of time where we do want to ramp up our marketing a little bit, not too crazy, because we do have to remember that, hey, no matter what we go through, the winner is going to be the winner. Now, unlike, most states, Florida and Arizona may not really feel it that much because, it's always hot out there. But, it's one of those things where it's just like, you know what, no matter what we do, we can be spending almost $10,000 a month in marketing in January and February. And, we'll still see that people just don't want to move. Like, God damn, how much money did you spend on Christmas? But it's one of those things.
Let's just say we got reality hitting everybody right now. And the reality, even though the government hasn't announced it yet, is that we're in recession. Let's be honest about that. I'm already seeing that. I have a couple of smaller clients that I feel didn't have their stuff set up the right way. Like, I'll give you an idea, guys. If you're doing SEO, okay, and that's a big subject for a lot of companies, you got to do something different, right? If you're doing SEO, shop around, first of all, and second of all, find out who is doing it, how much are they charging, how much are they involved, and frankly, how much of your interest do they actually have in mind versus just making their money. Okay, like, for example, and I don't honestly mean this as a self-promotion, I'm more saying this as a comparison. We have our own SEO at this point. We have somebody that's working on that stuff and doing that stuff, right? So, for example, because he's affiliated with our company, because he's affiliated with Moving Sales Professionals, he is interested for all of our clients to get better leads, frankly, right? So he has, not only does he have his own financial interest in mind, he also has an interest in mind because ultimately it's going to help his company and my company, and it's all, it's under my roof happening, right? So whatever he's doing, whatever he's going to charge you for SEO, he's gonna do more for you because of that interest. How do other SEOs? How can they prove it to you they're doing something beyond just taking your money? That's a question mark. So
yeah,
I have a company that I've had in Georgia. That's one of our clients. They got their shit together. I mean, they seem like they're getting good leads in. There's Google that's coming in. There's per click that's coming in. But whoever's doing their SEO, I think that that's where the problem is, because first of all, there's not enough leads coming. And second of all, at this point, they're trying to figure out if they should even stay in business or how they can make it, because they're not making enough money. And realistically, you only have like 3 or 5 leads come in. There's only like maybe altogether for the whole company, like not even 20 leads in the system. What can you do with two? If you're talking bad, like leads that been like from a month ago to a couple of new that trickled in, 20 that's still in the system. That's nothing. Like you can't run a business off of 20 potential jobs that are not even booked.
You're right. But
it's impossible.
I would say the only thing is that they say for SEO, that should probably be after you exhaust maybe all your options. You go through all the lead providers.
It needs to be a couple of things. So first of all, it needs to be strategic, because I don't think all people understand how that stuff works per se. And I think that's part of the confusion. A lot of these bigger companies, they paint this bright picture about how it needs to be done. And I don't profess to be an SEO pro. I'm not by any means. I'm learning along with you guys, because that's not my specialty, right? My specialty is sales. So, but in this particular case, what I'm seeing is that for the same company, like normal SEO companies are charging probably about $2,500 to $3,500 a month for their service. And it's a long-term game. It's not something like if you sign up for SEO today, you're not going to suddenly see an influx of leads. That's
definitely not.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's a long-term game. So like my guy, he does a mixture of things, because I see a little bit on his own. He does a mixture of things. He tries different campaigns, not necessarily spending a lot of money to begin with, just to see what's working, what's biting, and what have you. Like he fills out the market first before he goes full blast per click and stuff like that. SEO is we're not even talking about SEO is more long game. He's more focused on marketing and driving traffic to your website more so, and then maybe seeing if there's anything else that's going to bite that way. But like if you're spending $2,500, $3,500 and your business is fluttering, honestly, if that's how much you're spending, because that's a big chunk of your operating budget every month, right?
Definitely.
So what I would say is you got to dig in there and look, what are you actually getting for that? Because frankly, whatever it is that they're doing, if you can get somebody to do the same thing and not be any worse for $1,000, explore that avenue. Because that's if you can save yourself $2,000, $1,500 every month by trying maybe a different avenue, because like a lot of places that are out there, they really charge a lot for that stuff. But most of us, like I couldn't tell you if they're doing it right or not, because that's not my specialty. Like I'm not, maybe that's something that you know better, Dwyght, than I do. But realistically, how many moving companies out there, how many of these owners actually know how what that's supposed to look like when it's working?
Yeah. So Cliff, have you, I know you've been on the marketing side of things. Have you explored a little bit with the SEO, and what's your take?
Yeah, I think Yuri's absolutely right on one specific thing, and people have to take this into major consideration. Are they actually interested in supporting you? Like, are they going to look at, because each business is its own unique business. Each person's on their own unique stage. And if they're going to come in, just as Yuriy says he's a sales pro, but he's not on the SEO side. But a good salesperson can sell a person on things, on things they don't even know what they're selling. And that's a responsibility. So really, really ask the right questions when you're looking for certain things, and look at the right things, like how many people have they helped with SEO? Connect with those people, ask questions, ask a lot of questions, because this game is a jungle, and you're walking into the jungle and sometimes you don't even know, like, oh crap, there's crocs, there's sharks, there's snakes, there's everything. But you can survive with the right people and the right team. When it comes to knowing what it takes to be a business owner, support yourself with people who have already been through what you're looking to go through. I'll just say that much. Figure out, like, okay, I'm here, I need support. All of you have supported me. in one way or another, because I don't even come from the moving industry, and I've learned so much because I'm around people who know the industry very, very well, and I listen, and I say always be a student in this game, always be a student, and
Absolutely.
you'll get
Well,
through. You'll get
just
through.
to cut you off real quick, how many moves did you end up going on?
I've gone on quite a few actually. I don't know the number of how many moves I've gone on, but I'm a fighter, and as a fighter, you want to get in it to understand it, and it humbles you. I'll say that much. Everything you do humbles you. I've gone through the sales, I've gone through the marketing, I've gone through the moving, I've gone through the customer complaints. I had a great customer complaint yesterday because she was complaining and screaming and calling me a liar.
Oh
And this
boy.
was, yeah, I did so well through
How
this.
dare you?
Like, yeah, I did so good. It literally, so not only did I diffuse the situation, she actually apologized for what she was doing. Because normally someone yelling at me in my 20s, I'm yelling back like, "Who do you think you are, woman?" Who is it? But I'm like, "All right, let me stay calm. Let me stay communicative. Let me let her know what she's doing, and let me let her know what my space is as well." And she stepped back and she's like, "I'm really sorry. I'm just frustrated." I go, "I figured."
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job. Good job.
What
Yeah,
about
that's
you,
good.
Phil? Any complaints lately?
Um, not just made it to as far as me hearing anything other than, minor damages. I think I was telling you the other day, we had a customer, gentleman's moved with us several times. Guys had a perfect move. Unfortunately, somehow his TV got damaged, and but nothing too crazy. We try our best, man, to kind of pre-qualify when we hear certain things on the phone from customers, that we just shoot an outrageous quote, to get them away. This week has been pretty slow for us. So like yesterday, I think Melissa had scheduled a job that we normally won't schedule. The guys called. They were like, "Oh, the lady's trying to keep it under 3 hours. She doesn't want us to wrap anything. This is all the money she has." And everyone has to move. But once again, everything that you train your guys to do as far as protecting furniture kind of goes out the window. And if you got a good solid crew that does a lot of high-end moves, one of my guys told me this morning that Phil, it just kind of felt funny, putting these things in the truck and, throwing a blanket over when I got in the truck, and it went down some stairs, but she signed a waiver, saying that if anything got damaged, we wasn't responsible for it. But it's kind of one of those things of adding to the day for the crew. And, I just don't really like doing those moves, and I'm not talking about just doing all high-end moves. I'm just talking about being able to do your job. I have OCD. So anything I do is going to be the best. I'm going to outdo everybody that's around me. And that's just how I am. I've always been this way. And, it sucks when someone call a professional to do a professional service and get there and they want you to do a non-professional service.
Mhm.
There's companies out there just for that, and I hate to say that, but
Well, it's
no,
better than the other way around.
yeah, we keep our customers pretty, I think for the far most pretty happy. We try to touch base while the crew is there. It's not a follow-up after the crew is gone to get their honest opinion. A lot of my guys have been with me for a long time. So, I kind of know the guy. If there is a customer complaint, I can be like, yeah, he probably said that, or, and some people just don't know how to take, like you guys from New York, right?
Oh boy.
Us Northerners don't know how to take you guys sometimes. You know what I mean? And like one of my guys, Alex, he has a certain way of saying things, and some people take offense to it. And I'm like, well, that doesn't even really mean anything. Like, but I don't know. It's weird, you know.
Yeah. Now, so Oscar in the on the live chat said, what about working with banks directly? Talk to them about foreclosures and how we can help with that issue. It keeps the trucks moving. So I know that, Phil, I know you've been pretty good with working with a couple of banks or so like that for, I don't know if it's foreclosures or what is that thing called? Like when people pass away type of thing.
Out of the estates, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had this contract for several years, man. It's kind of one of those things of doing the right job for the right person at the right time. You know, there was really no marketing strategy to it. There was just the young lady was doing a personal move for someone that she knew, and come to find out, you know, she was high rank up into this bank, and you know, we took the contract, and it's been good. You know, they tried some other moving companies because we were a little bit more expensive, but the problem is no one took the time that we took to ensure everything stayed together. You know, you have to capitalize when no one else is doing anything else other than the basics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I went to an estimate yesterday, and you know, I found it quite strange. And you know what? It is what it is. I guess it's how some people like to do business. And this was a full pack, a full move, unpack. I mean, when I talk about unpack, I'm talking about white glove unpack. No moving company offered in a 6,800 square foot home. No one offered this customer to even come to his home. No, they didn't offer anything. They just wanted to do something on the phone, and I just think it's lazy. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, you know. But you know, I capitalize on things like that, you know, because this new age of doing things is not. I mean, you can make it work however you would like, but I'm old school, and that's why I've been successful in every business that I got, everything, because I'm old school.
That personal connection definitely makes sense. You know, meeting that person, greeting them, still providing them that presentation folder. You know, I feel like it still does make a lot of sense. You know, I think it just depends on, I want to say, your flexibility when it comes to things like that. Like if you're running around normally with your head chopped off throughout the day, and somebody's like, "Hey, can you come out and do an estimate?" Whew, you know, can we do virtual? You know, like, because it's like, it just doesn't make sense. You know, we had a older customer who clearly could use her phone, so we were like, "Hey, we'll send you a live video. Just record your home. We'll check out the video. We'll give you an estimate." She literally spent I think 33 minutes on that damn recording, and didn't record nothing important.
Right.
You know, recorded walking up the stairs, sitting in the living room, all that stuff. I'm like, God damn it, we didn't even get nothing. She's like, yeah, I sent the video. I'm like, I skipped around this 33-minute video because I'll be damned if I watch this whole video and it didn't show nothing important, and which it did. So now we probably have to set up like a on-site or a virtual estimate where it's like, hey, you know what? We'll walk you through the process. We'll be on a like Zoom or whatever it is, or a live switch, and basically walk you through the process and kind of go from that way, because it's like, hey, having that time to actually go out there, and then, you know, obviously these customers hear the quote and say, oh, your quote is kind of high. Well, damn, so is gas, but I came out here, didn't I?
Right.
You know,
So
and
that's why it's like I kind of got away from it. And at one point I was doing like a $25 just to show up fee. And then basically if they booked us, you know, that $25 go towards their deposit. But now it's just to that point where some people are just so far out the way, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not really trying to waste the gas for you to still say, well, hey, next week I got another couple of guys coming out. Once I hear back from their prices, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I
Sit
agree
around
with
for the cheap.
charging. That's the way we've done it with some of the other companies. We would charge like 25, whatever, $50 it was generally. to come out on a home estimate. And if they booked, we'd use that as a credit towards their move. So we always
Yeah, I
did
know
that.
some
But
companies
then
frown on that.
again, I mean, you guys know, if most of the time, if you know what you're talking about and you have good things going on when you go out, you're probably going to book 8 out of 10. I always have. Like anytime I do, but then anytime I personally do, I can't say for everybody, but me personally, if I do a virtual call, it's still probably 7, 8 out of 10 I end up booking them. So it's like, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, it's all about how you carry and how you present yourself. We want to, whether it's you doing it or it's an estimator, you want somebody that's gonna sound the parts, talk the right things, answer all their questions, not leave them basically feel like they need more because they didn't get all information, or feel like you were elusive. I mean, you need to be convincing, and it's not. And then of course you need to deliver. So you need to convince, and then you need to deliver. So you don't want to under promise. Like some companies certainly do that, obviously these days especially. But you definitely want to, if anything, you want to overestimate and deliver better on price and service if that's possible, if things are the same based on what you see. I think that's important. But you guys were talking about claims and stuff like that, and I was chuckling because the guys in my office make fun of me sometimes, because usually when you get the most fun customer, I'm the one that generally jumps in and handles that. And they always laugh at me because they hear me say the words ma'am or sir 50 billion times. Like sir. But honestly, like if it's somebody, especially if they're screaming at you, first of all, for me, our people are important to us. We are important to us ultimately, right? So to me, if somebody starts yelling at one of my reps or at me, if I'm handling that situation, this is basically how that's going to go. Okay, ma'am, you're yelling at me. I'm not going to talk to you in this type of manner. If you keep yelling at me, I will hang up, and then you can call me back when you come down, and then we'll continue civil discussion. Ma'am, you're still yelling at me. Ma'am, I'm hanging up. Call me back when you're ready to talk. Click. Because at the end of the day, I don't have time to spend 20 minutes getting yelled at.
Yep.
And you don't want your sales rep or your office person or whoever spending 20 minutes getting yelled at. Because first of all, you're not getting anywhere with this. And second of all, it's that person mindset that's going to be, if it's your sales rep, you don't want that. You want to keep them away from those type of confrontations as much as possible, really, because you want them to focus on booking. You don't want one asshole to mess up their whole day where they're going to be in their head and they're going to be double guessing themselves and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the reality is that person simply had more crap and they didn't bother to tell us about it. And now they're screaming about how they told us everything. But in reality, one thing is that if somebody has 20 more boxes, okay, people have no idea what they're doing. When they're done packing, usually they have more boxes, right? But when you're talking 3, 4, 5 other rooms with all this furniture, heavy furniture, you didn't know you had all that when you gave the inventory?
Oh no,
You
they
didn't
missed the
know
whole
when you
basement.
had all that, when you looked at the contract that was sent to you with the inventory on it, you didn't know? Really?
Well, Yuriy, you already know we had that one person who we sent them the video link, they recorded their whole home, and then come to find out, oh yeah, we missed the basement. But we told we told the salesperson
Everything.
that we had a basement.
Right.
You had a full house in the basement. Then you wonder why you didn't have enough truck space.
Right. So like it's stuff like that. So you gotta also, it's kind of, you got to take certain things with a grain of salt. But the other thing too is Clifford, you were talking about having to deal with that. So here's a trick from you from way back when I used to work at a call center when I did fundraising, right? Wait for them to take a breath. Sooner or later, they're going to come up for air. And the moment they do, you take over the call. Yep. That's the trick. You listen to them going, the guys and this and your salespeople and your damn trucks and blah, 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 blah. Here you go. You're taking over the call. At that point, you're like, okay, well, ma'am, to address, you said this is, well, ma'am, I let you talk. Now it's my turn. You got to do that. Otherwise, it's like you're not getting anywhere. If there, if only one person is talking, you're not getting anywhere. Because they're going to tell you what they want, but they're not going to want to. First of all, they don't want to hear your side. They don't want to tell you, but they don't want to hear about anything that they did wrong, right? They only want to tell you what you did wrong, or what the viewers did wrong.
Yeah,
meanwhile, it's like, I mean, unfortunately, we're in an industry where customer is not always right. We love to say customer is always right, and that's all great and good, but reality is the customer is not always right. You get like, I had a customer years ago. It was a move to Florida. And I did the inventory and everything, and I was thorough and blah, blah, blah. And then she decided, she didn't bother to call me and tell me that she was moving all this stuff, right? She decided she was going to add a lot more stuff that she was going to take with her. And she decided in her head how much she thought this was going to cost her. But she never bothered to call me, to tell me, to inquire, how much that would actually cost with all those additional things that she was adding, right? So the guys did the move. The guys charged her. She had to pay prior to unloading, on delivering, and all that stuff. She was complaining, whatever. 3 weeks later, the company gets this letter from her lawyer claiming that she was misled and whatever, right? And me personally, like, I was not a business calc, upper math type of person in high school and college, right? But I could write a 20-page essay, in less than 24 hours, easy. Right, that was my specialty. So I could write. So I got that, and I addressed every point that lawyer made in there. I went over everything that was in her contract, over everything how it said about more space or more weight, whatever it was. I don't remember at this point. I think it was weight actually, but I went over everything, and so we sent this letter back. Heard nothing else from the lawyer. Because it's like she has more things. And you can tell because you got one inventory and another inventory. And you guys know the funny thing is this: we get more arguments and we get more complaints with people arguing over 20, 50, $100, right? On the move, whatever it may be, packing or time. They argue more about that than over thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. So that's the irony. Because especially when I used to work with somebody else, right? I've had these situations where like the stuff comes back to me and I'm seeing this, I see the weight receipts. It was a company that I did things that did weight for long distance, which I always think is a better way to go than cubes. But these days, everybody's doing cubes. But anyway, so I looked at the inventory, I looked at the weight receipts, and she had like 5,000, 7,000 more pounds worth of stuff. So you're talking about, and I'm all prepping for this call, right? So I got my inventory that I did. I got the inventory from the move, and I call her and I'm like, okay, well, I got your information back and I looked at everything. So your inventory that I did with you had 150 items. Your actual inventory had 602. So clearly you have more things. They weighed the truck. The weight is this much more. And at that point I hear, yeah, I knew I had more stuff. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be the cost. Okay. Do you want me to give you a credit card now, or you want to use the same one? And you're talking a move that's like $2, $3, $4 grand more.
Yeah, no, she's definitely not going to be happy about that.
No problem. It's like, it's all about how you present the whole thing. And trust me, people that have a lot of stuff, they know they have a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Do they hope it's going to weigh less or fill up less space in the end? They do. But they also know. And the other big thing is that, tell your sales reps, or if you're still on the phone, don't make assumptions ever about what people can afford and can't afford. I had a studio move that was like $5,000 going somewhere. Studio, like 200 cubic feet, maybe, But she had a $10,000 couch. She had no problem paying $5,000. Zero. So you don't know what people have. You don't know how much they spent on it. Don't make an assumption, especially don't make an assumption based on what you think it should cost. And mainly this meant, of course, for new sales reps or people that are new to the industry in general, because they have that picture in their head. How much would I spend on the move? That's the first, when you hire them, when you train them, that's the first thing that you need to get out of their head, is that it's not you paying for it. It's not about you and how much you would spend. You don't know what they have. You don't know what they're willing to spend. You don't know where they work. Maybe whatever they make that in 1 hour. You don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look at Yuriy, you said when the woman's yelling at you, she's not in the right mindset. And this is a game of mindset. That's all it is. And saying, what mindset do I have to put a person in? Because I think the customer's always right, and I think we're always right. We're always right through our own perspective. And if they're only seeing one specific perspective and they're not seeing ours, it's okay, how do I get this person to see mine? And if they're not even willing to see it, then click, right? But ultimately, people don't wake up in the morning saying, you know what I want to do today? Bitch. I want to be mad. I want to be mad about something. I feel like being mad about something. And you're right, Yuriy. There are some people who wake up like that, but they weren't born like that, right? No one's just born to be angry with the world. And when you can look and say, all right, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And what do I want? Country Phil's the man. I respect you. And you're right. You have old school, but it's not the old school that makes you great. You've been on the bottom and that you know how to be on the top. That's the name of the game. Is you're going to get punched. You're going to get beat up. You're going to fall to your knees, but you're also going to get back up and you're going to figure out, who am I and how do I show up in the world? That's all this game is. Who am I? How do I show up in the world and what do I want? And am I doing the things to get what I want? Just taking real deep look at yourself and saying, I want this now. I don't want this. I like this.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And Country Phil ain't gonna act like we ain't see him eating that pork chop over there.
Country boy. Country got you crazy, man. I'm just kind of tuning in. I'm kind of, definitely trying to connect with somebody that knows a little bit, about the military moves and storage and things of that nature. I don't know if we've got somebody or one of you guys to deal with.
I would say reach out
Mario.
to what's his name?
Mario.
Yeah, Mario Reyes. I told you about.
Mhm.
Yeah,
he's pretty
I'm
good.
trying to reach out to somebody that's still in the, that's not an agent, van lines. That's what I'm starting to see. A lot of people, kind of, became agents.
But he did a lot of things beyond that too. So yeah, you want to talk to Mario? He knows his stuff.
The gentleman that we had on before, right, from out there in California.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's on my he's on my Facebook, so I'll touch base with him.
But no, I don't know. I don't know too much about the van lines, but I do know that I know they do kick in when you start to do more long distance stuff, and they could probably help with getting more long distance work if that's where you want to go in, especially if you have the storage.
The best, I mean, there's caveats when you're doing long distance when you are working with a van line. So I don't know. I think the best thing, in my personal opinion, you can certainly go the van line route, but the best thing, especially when you go to all those events, whether it's Massaro or something else, right, is basically connect with these companies that do long distance all the time, create a carrier network for yourself that you can trust to do the jobs a good way for you because they care about their reputation, whatever. That's going to end up being better for you and whoever it is, because van lines, they take a pretty significant cut, and at the same time their pricing is high too. So it's like, how many of those van line jobs are you going to get, first of all, because they're higher? So like, you're not, basically, if you're doing van lines, you're not going to compete with more localized long distance movers, because their pricing is always going to be less than the van line. It's going to be less than your Mayflower, your Allied, whatever. It's going to be less, and it should be. I mean, those companies bank on their name among everything else. So that right there, the moment you hear, the moment you hear Mayflower, dollar signs start coming. Yep. So
definitely
you got to go both ways, because if your van line, like, you can't do too many of those long distance moves on the side. People still try, of course, But if you get busted on it, then you're like in breach of contract with the van line, and God knows what that turns into. So it's like,
Yeah, plus
you
plus I
gotta
didn't
weigh all the options.
yeah, plus I didn't like how they kind of brand your trucks after a while. It's just like, oh, well,
Yeah,
you're a Wheaton van liner, or you're this, and you're this, and you're like, God, no, I'm Max Moving Company. I want my logo on
right.
the truck.
I kind of feel like people sold their soul. Another guy was telling me like, yeah, they sold their soul, but
But I guess it does help. Like I said, if you are looking to do out of state moves, I guess it does help because of that name brand or so like that. Also, if they're looking for a van line agent in your area, they'll refer you to their carrier. They'll say, oh, well, hey, you're with Michael's Mover. Michael's Movers is in the area. He's a Wheaton van line member or whatever the case is. And they only really, I think the van liners usually only try to work with X amount of moving companies in a particular area, so that basically it's not oversaturated.
Yeah, I would say yes and no, because it's almost like you, as a van line, you want to make as much money as possible. So if that means you have more saturation in a specific market, especially if it's a huge city like New York or Los Angeles or something like that, then you picking up more of these jobs is not necessarily, they want as much as they can get. So if they have more resources to get it, I think that if you're trying to do long distance in general, the important part is your presence online, because we run into this all the time. Companies come to us and like, oh, we do only long distance, right? We're like, okay, so we do our research, we look the company up, and there's no presence. There's like 10 reviews on Google or something like that. Well, you can't do long distance with 10 reviews on Google. You can, but it's going to be very hard for you to book jobs, and you're going to waste a lot of money on leads. Because so if your thought is, I want to do long distance, then what you need to do today is every time you guys go out and do a local move, have them have an iPad right there, or where they can submit a review for you right there and then before they leave their job. I think that's the local moves, because there's so much more of them versus long distance, is the best way to get your visibility up online and get it up quickly. Because if you're doing, I don't know, 20 to 50 to 100 moves a month, for example, that's like, if you're doing it right, that's, within a span of a year, you could have 500 reviews potentially if you do it right.
We try to use for us, I think I don't know what y'all use for review capturing, but I think we use both the CRM, link and stuff like that. But I think we try to really promote like the card where we have the QR code on it, so that basically customers can scan it right then and there, and then kind of go from there with providing a review quicker. I think we just need to, push it a lot more. We try to keep the card in the guys, like the driver's wallets. But I swear these guys it's like running a damn daycare center. Freaking trying to tell you guys, hey, make sure you keep your wallet on you. So you have your card, and then you have your fuel card. And that's by his damn self. Guys like, oh yeah, I left my wallet at home, or I left the fuel card in the truck yesterday. Well, it ain't there today, and I don't know if they think it's cheap to keep reordering these damn fuel cards, but it's definitely convenient. I'll tell you that much. We used to do, I used to run to the local gas station every morning, like a couple of years ago. And I'm like, you know what? I'm only going to get them like $40, $50 fuel cards, because they ain't going to be wasting my money. And you start to realize how inconvenient that is to have to run to the goddamn gas station every morning and get those cards. And diesel is expensive as hell. So $50, $75 ain't going to do nothing for you.
Yeah.
But now, like I said, for those that don't know, I definitely have a resource page on maxmovingtraining.com. So if you are looking for like fuel card companies or SEO companies or marketing leads, you can definitely check that out in the resource section. But we did, I would say just do your research if you guys don't have fuel cards yet. I know Wex I've heard good stuff about Wax fuel cards. We use Fuel Man before. I'm not a big fan of it. You know, way too many fees, credit score checks. They're like, oh yeah, well, hey, if your credit score is bad, you're gonna start to get fees and all this other stuff. I'm like, whoa, even if my credit score was bad, which it isn't, you know, just make sure we put that out there. You know, it's one of those things where why would my business get penalized if we're still paying you on time and everything else? And it just, you know, some companies don't make logical sense. So you just got to do your research on what's going to be best for you. But A to B, they actually took off. They took off running really well, from the little advertisements they had on Facebook to YouTube to like just, I was amazed how fast they actually took off. And they've been great. They've been growing, you know, trying to up their security a little bit better. But yeah, I would recommend, you know, if anybody needing a fuel card company, definitely go with those guys. I think, was it you, Phil? No, it wasn't you, Phil. Somebody said that they also have fuel trucks coming to their shop a couple times out of the week to fuel their trucks. And I don't know how expensive that option is. I've thought about it for the large, like I know you got a large fleet, Phil, so that might be something where you could kind of regulate it a little bit more.
I think somebody was talking about that, and they said it was about the same. You know, once you broke it down of sending an employee or two fueling up, you know, units, you know, every morning or every other morning or whatever the case may be, you know, by the time you pay somebody to do it is about the same. Our problem over in our areas, that truck comes from Tampa, which is 30, 45 minutes an hour and a half drive. So we looked into that option way back, but it's kind of where we're located at. We're centrally located. So, I mean, it takes literally 2 minutes to go to a fuel station here. I'm just one man. I try to keep whatever money I can in-house. You know, now that we have my father-in-law as a warehouse manager, it gives him something to do, you know, even though
I would lose my mind having to go damn fuel those damn trucks.
Even though, man, you know, my father, he's in his 70s, man, he's a good guy, man. He always has problems. This damn chip ain't working. It's not swapping right. And, you know, but, you know, these
He's like,
older
8
guys,
more to
man.
go.
Yeah, they're like, man, you know, but it gives him something to do, man. And, you know, it makes him feel like he's a part of, you know, the process, you know, especially like because he's here at the butt crack of dawn with me. And but yeah, I haven't known anybody personally though that use those, but I've seen and heard, you know, just through the other groups of people using them or seen pictures of, you know, somebody having one of those trucks pull up at their lot. I know my buddy Chris Wilker, before he passed, I know for a fact he did over at his Wilmington, North Carolina location. But I don't know what it was charging wise.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you what though, I'm so proud of Clifford Stark.
Oh, thanks,
man.
Yeah, man. You know why, man? You know what? You're new to the industry. You know, I like you, man. You're just a good guy, man. You're a real genuine guy. You too, Dwyght. Yeah. But yeah.
Somehow
But,
I feel singled out.
Now I said you too. I can't never pronounce your name, and you know.
Yuriy.
But yeah. But I talk to these guys outside of the show too. You know, a couple times a week. But man, I can see the fire in Clifford, man. You know, he's in a newer industry, newer environment, and I know kind of got to know him a lot now, man. And that learning curve, man, I can see the excitement. I remember having that excitement when I first got into this industry because every day it was like something new. And I'm like, oh, wow, you know, man, back when I first started, man, you know, I was out in the truck, man. And just say I had a job the next day man, at night, dude. And I didn't, I jumped into this industry and never worked for a moving company, didn't know nothing about moving furniture at all. So a lot of times I had to YouTube the night before on something, unfortunately.
It
But
happens.
being with my OCD, man, I overkill every damn thing, dude. You know what I mean? But I just thought back about I would go play a tape through my mind at night on how I was going to move this dresser out of this room. Like it was always, it was something new every day, man. And the excitement, man. And I see that in Clifford, man. Keep it, man, because that's what sells, man. It does.
You're
people
some
100%
crazy
right on that, brother.
dreams there, Phil.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But
Before you know, you dream of a dresser chasing you down the hallway.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
I
I have to take off real quick, but I do want to say, Dwyght, appreciate you. Phil, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yuriy, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Audience, I appreciate you guys. Couldn't have better people to be around. You guys are the ones who are supporting me. You guys are the ones who are bringing me up. And when I'm excited, I want to bring it in with you. And when I get knocked down by the knees, we'll be talking on the phone so I can get that excitement back up, because you are 100% right. Excitement sells. Energy sells. So thanks, guys. You all have a great day.
Oh, yeah.
Clifford, you got my phone if you got my phone number if you need anything.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
All right, big dog.
So
You can see the excitement in it, man.
I have more excitement today than I did when I started in the industry, to be honest with you.
no, you sometimes do find that motivational pull that just continues to excite you, and I think being an owner in general, because of the flexibility we have, the uniqueness we can bring to the business, it's like, how can you not be excited? Everything doesn't have to be the same way it is today as it is tomorrow.
Well, every day you got to be on your toes every day, because you never know what it's going to bring. And
Mhm.
whether it's somebody not showing up or whether it's a new contract or something, there's always something to be excited about. That's why I always find it interesting when I hear people talk about, I'm going to go to this motivational speaker, or I'm going to go to Louis Massaro, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And, I mean, anytime I hear somebody say that, I need this guy for motivation, that always, that's always weird to me, because it's like, look, is trying to succeed yourself and trying to succeed for your family, is that not motivation enough? You woke up in the morning, that's already a beautiful thing, right? You're as my GM always says, you're a couple of feet above ground, so that's great.
Yeah, no, it depends on, like, we had the conversation I think a couple of weeks ago, Yuriy. I think it just depends on, if you come from a very, very rough upbringing, that motivation for that drive is there, but if you come from a background where it's like, I had it bad, but I didn't have it bad, like, like, I want this, but how bad do I want it? It's like, I mean, if it failed tomorrow, what's
I didn't have a bad upbringing, but at the same time, I immigrated to this country. We had nothing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I had no brand name clothes, okay, until I was in college. I had no, like, we were on welfare when we started out, when we got to this country. I was 11 at the time. So we had nothing. I was 11 years old. I went shoveling snow that winter, made $100, was a big deal to my parents. Helped the people next door move. That was my first moving experience, like, I was 11. Like, people next door were moving. They didn't even know Ukraine existed. They thought Soviet Union was still together. This is 1994, mind you. So make $3.
Though.
Yeah, my parents wanted me to give them the $3 that they gave me back. I was entrepreneurial. I hooked up with the guys that drove the garbage truck every Tuesday around the neighborhood. I was 11, 12. I hooked up with them. I would jump on the truck with them. I would help them to stick the trash in the truck throughout the neighborhood, and then they would give me a couple of bucks. That was my pocket change, pocket money right there. Like, I didn't have allowance. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I didn't have it bad, but I also didn't have anything really.
Yeah, I think there's a certain gene that turns a person into an entrepreneur, and it's those little things, intricate things that we do when we're so young that we don't even notice. Like, I feel like I started working, well, I used to do bagging for customers at the supermarket probably when I was like 8 or 9. Just motivation. Like my father said, "Oh yeah, you guys can go out, ride your bike, play around the neighborhood," but I would want to go to the supermarket and just help the old ladies carry their bags from the door of the supermarket to their car. And they'll give you a little tip or whatever the case is. Like, "Oh, thank you so much," or whatever the case is. And you'll run back home maybe with like $5, $6 in your pocket. Like, yes, like I did a good deed, and I made a little bit of money. I like it. And not knowing about bills at that time, because definitely wouldn't have been doing that. But, it's just those little things, those little drivers that, you start to pick up. And maybe your first business venture don't take off the way you expect it to take off. But then you come up with another business venture and you're just like, you know what? I think this one could work. I think I can make money off of this. Like similar to Phil, I never knew anything about moving companies per se. I've only ever seen them in movies. And I was like, oh, I don't know if that looks interesting or not, but those people
The
are moving
movers with the one jumpsuit on, with the one suit.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
They look almost like Garbage Man, but not quite.
Yeah.
So I was like, I would never even fathom that I would want to do something like that. You
Right.
movies and you're just like, well, I guess that's cool. I guess you got to make your money how you make your money. On to the next part of this movie. But
Right.
but next thing you know, it's just like you come up with this theory and you're just like, yo, I was struggling to figure out how to move myself last minute. And looking for a place, oh man, that was a nightmare. Well, what if other people were having the same issue? You know what? What if we could help them? And then, oh shit, long and behold, that's a moving company.
Yep. Yep. It's funny, man. So when me and my wife got together, this is prior to the moving idea. We were moving from an apartment. We had just met, and we were moving a dresser. Me and my brother-in-law was moving a dresser down the steps, and of course, no shrink wrap, no nothing. And my brother-in-law moved to the right, and guess what fell down the steps? The damn drawer. Hey, you know what though? I don't remember a lot of things in life, but I do remember that. I remember way back, man, we used to do a lot of Craigslist moves, and people would be like, "Oh, you ain't got to worry about putting no shrink wrap or nothing on the drawer." My mind automatically resorts back to that damn drawer falling off of that damn dresser, which could have hit somebody potentially, or could have tripped over it and hurt yourself bad.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You got lost your train of thought, huh?
Yeah, I got dog barking and people talking. But
you gotta watch those drawers, Phil.
Yeah, gotta watch them drawers, man. But I always think back about that though.
Yeah, no, we get these customers that's just like especially the ones that's going into storage and don't want to pay for the blankets or whatever the case is, and we're telling them, oh well, we got to take the blankets back, and they're like, oh well, can't you just shrink wrap everything? And then you look at their sofa and you're like, ma'am, that is pure leather. We cannot just shrink wrap your sofa and put it in the storage.
You know what I do about that? Generally speaking, when they talk about shrink wrap, I explain it to them. Look, I said, look, shrink wrap is like your saran wrap when you're wrapping your chicken or something. It's that thin, and by itself, it's not going to do anything to protect your furniture. So if you don't have, it's basically there to make things nice and kept. If you got a sofa, you got blanket on one side, blanket on the other side, blanket in the middle. The blanket in the middle, you got to hold it somehow so it doesn't slide. Shrink wrap will achieve that for you and make it look nice and kept. But I said, look, that's mainly what you need it for. Protective value has zero protective value. That thing hits a wall, shrink wrap is not going to save it.
Yeah, we had one customer, I think I told you, Yuriy, we had one customer who had a nice house. I'm assuming she had a nice house, but she went through our third-party claims company and said, hey, I want to get insurance for $10,000 to have my sofa protected, or not protected, but covered. And Everything else could be 30 cents per pound. So we get those type of customers, and then my guy is like, okay, well, hey guys, she claimed $10,000 on this, so we want to make sure we protect it really, really well. So the guys
have
putting the
10
blankets
layers
on it.
of blankets.
They're putting the blankets on it. They're about to shrink
$1,000.
wrap it down, and the customer's like, do you have to put shrink wrap on it?
You spend 10 grand. Yes.
He's like, miss, do you not want your sofa covered? Hold up. This is the highest valued item in your home. But
that's what gets you a sale too, by the way. Pay attention to the important items that they tell you during the conversation. If they repeated an item like 5 times, you know it's important to them.
Oh yeah.
Listen, like they give you those clues.
So if anybody, I don't know if you guys use a good friend of mine, Nick Lozano, pretty well known in the industry or so like that. I know when he had his moving company out in Oklahoma, it was he used to use these chair covers for the dining room chairs, and I always thought those like perfectly fitted chair covers were great. I don't know if they're universal. I think maybe they just work well with the non-armchairs, but we end up getting the ones for the sofa. But the ones for the sofa literally probably weigh, the blankets itself probably weigh at least 20 to 30 pounds. So we realize now our guys don't want to use it because it makes that damn sofa 10 times more heavier.
Right. Jeez.
So we're trying to offer.
When in doubt, Temu.
Huh?
I said, when in doubt, Temu.
I don't know what that is, but
it's Chinese. It's a Chinese website. They say they have all this stuff that's like so much cheaper than everything else out there. Like my wife doesn't even go to the store anymore for clothes. She shops on Temu.
Gotcha. Yeah, that site now sounds familiar. There is a I don't know if you ever seen the videos of in China when they be doing the moving services. And
the crazy rapping, and like, ooh.
And going out the window, everything goes out the window.
They had this one house where they brought some really cool supplies. They had the pads that went on the walls to protect the walls from getting damaged. Like they were really on it. Unpacking services. And we attempted to offer unpacking services. We had got the pricing down pack and everything, but we realized that it's really not a strong market for it. And we offered cleaning services at one point, and cleaning services was pretty good. It's just people don't really want to pay for nothing. No. And you start to realize that your schedule starts to fill up with more cleaning jobs, and it's when you're limited resources and it's first come, first serve, you start realizing, oh shit, I gotta do a $200 clean and I gotta turn down a $1,500 move because I don't have no more guys. And you start to think, priorities. What is your main role? It's moving.
Yeah. People, especially when you're providing, you say you got moving, junk removal, cleaning, packing. Of course, at some point, that consumer is going to automatically think a discount's going to come from one of those services. So you might as well already plan for it off the first one. And you know what? I'm that way to a certain extent when I get ready to purchase something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, what if I buy 3 pallets of boxes? What kind of pricing can I get? You can look at it kind of that way, right? You buy something in bulk. If somebody's spending that kind of money with you, of course they're going to. Oh yeah, well, what if we do the cleaning? Maybe half off. Like, no.
We had those customers coming in talking about, hey, can you guys offer the cleaning for like less than $100? Because Mary Maid, just less than $100 in general for the cleaning services. Like, oh, Mary Maid's down the block, they could charge us $90 for the cleaning services.
You better call them.
We're gonna call them.
Yeah, Mary Maid. You can call them for you. I'll set it up for you. I'm about to call them to my house.
But we get those. It's weird because and we all go through it, and we always have the same question. I feel like when customers like, well, the last movers, they did this, they did this, they did this, and you're kind of like, why didn't you hire the last movers again?
If they were so awesome, why are you coming to us?
You know, but
Absolutely.
you know, and like Yuriy says, you try to stick to the contract, but it's one of those things where people are like, yeah, they charged us, they charged us for packing and moving within the one same quote. Oh, they didn't break it out in line items? No. Oh, they didn't break down that treadmill that you got in the basement? No, I think it came in like that. Oh.
Yeah.
So, but all right, so we are at the top of the hour, guys. Great show. If anybody has questions or looking for, you know, additional support with sales, Yuri's your man, moving sales professionals. Country Phil, you know, if you ever need any advice, Country Phil's there for you. You know, he's been doing really, really well in the Tampa Bay market. And if you guys need any operations training, sales training, movers training, I'm the man for you. Just reach out. Like I said, we got the resources on our website. So if you just need some resources, or if you even need just any training, you know, without having to pay for it, you know, there's still free training on the website as well. So definitely take full advantage of these trainings, you know, and if you need if you have any more questions or so like that regarding the trainings, just reach out to me. Yeah, but everybody enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you guys.
No
Have a
problem.
good one,
Thank you.
guys.
See you next week.
Bye.